Students everywhere are struggling with stress and the demands of academics and extracurriculars. Are the pressures of making good grades, excelling in a sport, working, volunteering, and preparing for college too much?
Nathaniel Gillespie. I teach English 1 and reading, and I coach cross country and track. I think there's a lot of pressure. To the more involved you are, the better it looks. Whether it's on a college application or a resume, and a lot of kids get involved in too many things. And with today's day and age, there's more stuff to be involved in, especially compared to when we were back in school. So it's just kind of, you've got to pick and choose and what's going to be best for you and take it from there. But it varies with the individual.
I'm involved with cross country, track and field, choir, drama, and FCA leadership. For homework, I usually have 2 to 3 assignments every day, and then maybe like a project or 2 every week to finish. And it takes me about 2 hours every day to finish it all.
So I feel like sometimes I get a lot of complaints, but in the end, everyone gets everything done that they're supposed to. I think initially when a large assignment is given out for the first time and the requirements are explained, then there's a lot of stress at the beginning because they start to go through all of the different, I have to work, I have a game, all these different things. However, most of the time, students do complete the work on time. So even though there's some complaining and maybe some struggling, it does get done in the end.
Some teachers who do understand or don't understand, the ones that do usually have experience with that as well, but the teachers who don't have like experience from their past of being busy as students are today.
In my opinion, I would not extend time for something that is a privilege and not a necessity. There is no athletics at Glendale without academics at Glendale. Yeah. The reason that they are able to play Glendale sports is because they are a Glendale student. So if they aren't a Glendale student, that sport doesn't exist. So if they're not excelling or participating and holding up their end of the bargain when it comes to academics, they don't even have the option to play that sport. So if they're not focusing on the academics first, then the athletics become irrelevant completely.
If an athlete is having issues academically or has some stuff that they need to catch up on, get caught up, then my philosophy, my recommendation is to take care of school first. These are scholar athletes and they can't be scholar athletes without taking care of their school business first. So need to get that finished and get their business taken care of on that end, and then we can focus on athletics.
It depends on the person if you should focus more on athletics than academics. If you're an athlete who has outstanding performances and could go on in college to get scholarships for that sport of being an athlete, I say focus on both equally.
I think that there are students who feel that they are too overwhelmed. So I don't want to invalidate that feeling. However, I think it's unnecessary to feel too overwhelmed. If I start to debrief with a student why they're feeling too overwhelmed, much of it is more along the lines of, I would rather do this than my homework, and so I feel overwhelmed. Or I am going to have to go right home after school and do homework because I have to work tonight, and what I'd rather do is just relax. So I do think that when you feel overwhelmed or stressed out as a student, that's real. It's a real feeling, and it's something that could definitely affect the stress level and things like that, but it's unnecessary if prioritizing is something that is kind of tried and organized, that type of thing. So I do think that they feel overwhelmed, and I don't want to take that away, because if you feel stressed, you really do feel stressed.
Students are in school for 7 to 8 hours a day. Then they go home or to practice. Either way, there are tests to study for, projects to finish, homework that is due, and there are only so many hours in a day. This can lead to a lot of stress, which is something to worry about.
I don't think that the expectations are too much, because so many of those things are voluntary, and the teachers and coaches work together so often to try and make sure that everyone is being served in the way that best benefits the students. I think that it's fantastic when students have jobs. I think that that's real life. We're all busy, and I think learning how to manage time and understanding how to effectively manage being busy is a really good skill. Also at Glendale, our whole motive is to prepare you for every step in life. The next one is college, but some people are going right into the workforce. And if we just made everything, if we were trying to make things easy, we would be doing the disservice. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that it's too much. I think that sometimes students need to rise to the occasion. And a lot of the time, if you communicate with teachers problems are solved. Not everyone's willing to do that, but I don't think there's a teacher or a coach in the building that wouldn't work with a student if they came and said, I am feeling too overwhelmed. I think that my load is too heavy and I need help. I think that there's a wealth of resources that we can offer to make sure that if it does become too much, we can solve that problem.
Talking to a teacher or coach can relieve stress, but can it take away the overwhelming issue of high expectations? Students should thrive, not just survive.